Hi, I'm TinTin Hos and I'm a professional table tennis player. I'm 6 times English national champion and I competed in the Tokyo Olympic Games. And you're watching Time Out with Table Tennis England.
Tin, yeah, we're here in Nottingham, but can you sort of tell us a little bit about how you actually landed in table tennis? It goes in the family, doesn't it?
Yeah, so my dad, he used to play for Hong Kong internationally, and he kind of had a mission for me and my brother to become table tennis players. So he taught my brother first and then started to coach me as well. So, yeah.
And so how did he get into it? Was it just something that he did growing up? It was popular. I mean, if you're going to give a sport to your kids, it must mean quite a lot.
Yeah. I think he did play a lot just as a hobby in Hong Kong. And then it just started to get better and better because in Hong Kong, table tennis is quite popular. So yeah, I think that's how it started. Yeah.
And was that something that sort of played a part in your life? Did you spend much time in Hong Kong growing up, sort of playing with some of the people that he played with, or the kids of the people he'd played with, or anything like that?
No, actually. I think we did go to Hong Kong and we visited his club a few times, but we would mainly go to China to practice. And when we go to Hong Kong, we'd visit family. So we didn't actually play that much in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Your dad's been a big part of your table tennis journey from the beginning. So what's his coaching style like when perhaps he's coaching you compared to if you have a different coach?
Because he's sort of coached me, I guess, since I was 5 or maybe even like 2, I think was the first time I held a bat. He kind of knows me really well. So I think he focuses more on like a holistic view. So he like wants to make sure that I'm okay, like in all aspects of life, because he knows that will then help me play better as well. And he also watches a lot of international players, so he's quite like creative and is always like suggesting me to try like different things and to find my sort of specialty.
And so what's in that famous clipboard we see at nationals every year? Is it all the different plays that he's got, you know, to draw out the card when need be?
Yeah, I think they're just like little notes for him to remember stuff to say like tactically, or just to kind of like remind himself to then tell me as well. So yeah.
Do you prefer having your dad there when possible?
Oh yeah, because I guess each coach has like their own sort of strengths, so it depends. But obviously it's nice for my dad to be there in tournaments when he can, because he doesn't travel much, so he doesn't see me play much. But obviously I'm happy with like whoever coaches me. Yeah.
So long as they're given the right pointers.
Yeah.
And so for you, obviously, I was rewatching a feature that the BBC did just before the Commonwealth Games in 2014. Was it that event there that you kind of felt like you'd made it? It's quite a meteoric rise for someone so young.
I guess it was kind of this beginning, because I think I didn't realise like how big it was, the Commonwealth Games. Like I got selected, but I didn't like actually realise what it was like. And then I went to the village and it was really big. So I think it was almost like the beginning of like showing me like what's possible. So yeah.
And what was it like winning a medal in that crowd? Had you been in an environment like that before?
No, I think that was the first time it was such a big crowd. It was in Glasgow, so it was almost like a home crowd as well. Because like I think my parents, there was like friends and family watching. So yeah, no, it was really good. I didn't really expect it.
Building on from Commonwealth Games, you've had incredible success at the Nationals sort of since then. I think it's 6 singles titles, 7 women's doubles, 7 mixed doubles titles, all sort of since there. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's always nice to compete in England. So whenever I play in the Nationals, it's just very nice to like just be in that environment again. Because obviously I focus a lot on international events, but being at Nationals with my dad there, my parents, my brother comes and watch as well. It's like a different feeling. So I always want to do well, just to sort of do everyone proud as well.
What was the first victory like, if you can remember? What would that feel like when it hit you? You're a national champion. That must have been a huge moment for you and your family.
Yeah, I can remember it quite well because before that I lost in many semis and a lot of finals. So I think to finally win the final, I think I started crying. And I never cried during a match of happiness. I've cried a lot of sadness, but not from happiness. So yeah, I think that was a very special moment, especially with my dad coaching in the corner as well.
What are some of the favourite moments that you've had that you can remember from the nationals over the years? You know, albeit sort of good, bad.
Yeah. I don't know what came to my mind was I played the final with Maria in doubles and we won. But I just like remember her falling over the barriers like in front of like the show court and like all the barriers like went as dominoes. So just like little things like that just makes it good like with your friends and stuff. And obviously winning like mixed titles are always really fun as well because I quite enjoy playing mixed as well. And yeah, it's just a nice tournament.
I've been a big part of the nationals, obviously being hosted here in Nottingham and studying here as well. You do medicine, that's right?
Yeah.
And how has that been for you since starting full-time study, not just for any degree, but for a degree that's so specialised, such as medicine, and balancing the life of being a professional table tennis player? What's that been like?
It's been good. I'm very lucky with the support from like both Table Tennis England understanding of my studies and also UON understanding of like my sport and studies, and obviously like coaches like Kelly and Mate also being very understanding of my situation. So yeah, it's actually been really good, and I'm very lucky to like. I think this is the only place I could have managed both like in the UK. So yeah.
What have some of the challenges been with it for you? You know, you've compromised in sort of both worlds, perhaps.
Yeah.
What's it been like?
It's been okay. I think the main challenge was when I started placement. So we have like hospital placements. So it's like longer hours and it's quite intense. So I think that was quite hard to sort of balance training as well, because obviously the hall is like, it's not always free because you can't rock up whenever. So when I was at home, I had my own table, so I could just practice whenever. So obviously I had to like manage it and also find practice players that would want to practice at the times that I could only do it. So I think that was probably the biggest challenge.
So going into final year, what are some of the challenges going to be with that? I imagine you've got some exams and revision and that to worry about. So what over the next year, what do you think that could look like for you?
Yeah, so my exams will be in March. So there's actually not, I think it's about 6 months. So I think it's just kind of the last push into the last 6 months. But hopefully I'll be sort of well prepared that I won't be too stressed and I wouldn't have to take too much time off training. But I think it should be okay this time, yeah.
And you've been part of the table tennis setup at UON as well. What have they given you and sort of what's that been like as a support system?
Yeah, it's been really nice. So the UON Table Tennis Club, yeah, everyone is really nice. I was part of the committee as well. I was welfare officer. But yeah, it's just a nice little family. It's something a bit different because it's not, I think people are a bit more relaxed, so it kind of makes me a bit more relaxed as well. So it's always nice after like a hard day at placement, go to training and everyone's just like quite nice and like have a laugh. So yeah, it's nice.
Is that sort of something that you look forward to, having a kind of a more relaxed table tennis environment to play in? Because I can imagine that you going to WTT events, playing at nationals and playing internationally, there's a lot of high pressure table tennis going on. Is it nice to kind of have that group of players that you can just kind of switch off and be TinTin with?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah, it's nice to just have that sort of, yeah, it's still serious. Like we're still very serious in training, but like if we just go for lunch or like meet up afterwards, it's always very relaxed. And yeah, I can sort of just like be more relaxed, I guess.
Yeah, sort of unwind.
Yeah.
How do you unwind from table tennis and balancing a medical degree?
I think mainly just spending time with friends, just like going for like walks or like just going out to eat, really just eating, I guess. But yeah, not that much, I guess. Yeah.
Smile for the camera. Come on, TinTin.
Do you ever sort of have much crossover with any sort of pro athletes with Nottingham or things like that aren't in table tennis?
I guess Emily, what's her name? Emily Campbell.
Oh,
She was always like in the gym, but I don't think, like she said hi to me once, but she doesn't know who I am. I always see her a lot.
It's been like, did you not know? I'm the one from the Nike
Oh,
ad.
no. As in like, as in I always try like, as in yeah, no. So, no, I think that's about it. Yeah.
What are some of the challenging moments in your career that you've had to overcome, or things that have kind of bothered you for a while, and how have you sort of turned that around, or motivate yourself to turn that around next time you play?
Yeah, I think there's like two that stand out. I think the first one was Youth Olympics. It was a big goal of mine to qualify for it, and we had to play qualification tournaments, and I was in the final match, and if I won that I would have gone, and I was 3-0 up and I lost it. So I think that was quite like hard for me. And I think the second one was this year, the Paris Olympic qualifications. I was also pretty close and I was playing very well. So yeah, I was quite sad to not make it. So
what was going through your mind in sort of those moments when you realised, because obviously you'd spoken about how proud you were to be at Tokyo, how much you wanted to play at kind of a normal Olympic Games with fans and all of that. What was it like kind of in those few minutes afterwards, that it kind of, does it hit you right away? Do you have to, does it take a few days? Has it still not hit?
I think it didn't hit right away, because when I lost in like the semis match. I still had like another match the next day, so I was like very mixed emotions, like very like in the back of my mind I was like, I still need to, like, there's still a chance. So I think maybe like a few days after it kind of just hits.
And what are your ambitions sort of for coming up? Does this make you want to get to LA even more?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, not only get there, but I'd like to sort of qualify very like have a ranking good enough to just like make it, and sort of, yeah, that's how I would like to be at a much higher level at that stage. So that is the main ambition. Yeah.
What are the things you could do to prepare yourself to get to that place where you're in the best possible condition? Is it something with, you know, the way you train, who you train with, where you train, what you eat? Like what do you think you can control that could get you to LA?
I think just sort of training consistently well all the time. Like, it's not just a month before, it's like the whole time. So I think like continue what I'm doing, and like being brave in like international tournaments like WTTs, like using the things that I've been training and like being more brave with that and being more confident. And then I think I have a good chance if I do that. Yeah.
And how do you prepare for specific events? Like what is it? Do you take a different approach depending on who you might be playing? Like what do you eat beforehand? Are you superstitious? What is it?
I'm not that superstitious now. I used to be, but I kind of just prepare the same for every tournament, because it's like I just prepare the best I can for every tournament. There's no like special thing for one tournament or the other. But yeah, I always like to watch the opponents a little bit before, so I kind of have an idea and like a bit of a plan on what to do. But other than that, nothing like magical or anything like that.
So what would you eat and drink before a drink, sort of in the day leading up to a big match?
I think I just have my normal diet. Like, I don't change my diet before tournaments. I think I'll normally eat food that I know like agree with me. Like, I wouldn't just eat something like completely new. And so if I go to a different country, I wouldn't like go out and like eat street food or something, just because like I don't know like for sure if like my body would agree with it. But I'd like to say I'm fairly balanced, so I'm not too strict.
And has a background in medicine helped with your table tennis career, do you think, you know, in giving you understanding that perhaps your opponents might not have themselves? They might have other people tell them this is why it's important to eat something, but they might not understand it, whereas you perhaps probably have a bit more of that insight.
Yeah, I guess I'm very interested in the science behind everything, so I would like to do things knowing that there's a good reason to do it. So I guess it could give me an advantage, but I guess it depends on like, I'm sure everyone else is very well educated as well in that sense, but I think I like knowing things to like a deeper level, so I guess it does help me for like my own interest as well.
You've had a kick-started career on the, you know, big screens. It seems like you've had work with Puma, you've been in a Nike advert along with some of the biggest names in the world, LeBron James, Mbappe, Serena Williams, Sha'Carri Richardson's in there, and TinTin Hos. Tell us a bit about how the Nike ad came about.
Yeah, it was really cool. I didn't expect it, because when they first like asked us, like, we don't know what it's for, so I just like, oh, just give it a go. And they kind of mentioned like we'll have to travel to film it and stuff, and that it's a big project, so I was like, oh, it's probably quite a good opportunity. So yeah.
So like, who was it that told you that this opportunity came about?
I think it was one of their like agents. So it was, yeah, I think for their filming or production company, that their agent was trying to find table tennis players. So I think they kind of messaged around, and I was, yeah, I actually like ignored the message at first because I didn't know what it was, and I thought I'd be too busy. But then I kind of like after a few days when I had a bit of time to like settle down, then because it was right after nationals as well. I remember getting that message. Yeah.
And what did you have to do beforehand? You know, I'm sure it's not as simple as you just say to Nike, "Yeah, I'm in." Like, what did you have to do?
So I guess like there was a whole licking my bat situation. So I kind of had to sort of send them a video of myself doing it, just so that I don't know. I think they wanted to see like the emotion, and they had a very clear like idea, which was quite cool, and had a clear like vision of it. So I think they wanted to see like if I could sort of match that in a way. So yeah, I had to like sort of audition for it in a way. So yeah, it was quite amusing.
So are there lots of videos on your phone of you just licking your bat that's gone around to all your close friends?
Yeah, maybe just like 1 or 2 friends. I wouldn't send it too far, but yeah, it was quite funny. It's always good to promote the sport because, like, I'm kind of joking about the advert, but also seeing it like with all the other stars, like seeing table tennis in there is like it was quite like big. So I thought it was really cool, and yeah, I'll definitely like take the opportunities in the future if they come.
So we have some quickfire questions from our followers from Instagram, and so we thought we'd just pitch a few to you. Victor Ramirez Rioja has asked, which club did you first start playing?
Crusaders Table Tennis Club in in Croydon.
Awesome. And we've got Asin 3004. Say something for beginners about table tennis. So what would some advice for a beginner be from you?
So some advice would be always use your legs to move and make sure you're always like behind the ball. Because I think a lot of people think about like the hands, but actually legs are like one of the most important parts of it.
We've got Dashing One. What's your pre-match routine?
So I guess like warming up like physically like half an hour ish, and then on the table having a good practice like for a bit of time, and then you're in the match. And like mentally prepare as well and watch the match and everything as well. Yeah.
So we've got one from Luke O Young saying, I'm in med school and train a lot, but it can get daunting. How do you stay motivated for both?
I understand. How to stay motivated. I think having like my tournaments sort of keeps you motivated because you have something to train for, and make sure you take enough rest as well, because I think that definitely keeps you like sort of refreshed, and then you can like put 100% into everything you do if you're well rested. So I think that's like what helped me the most. And yeah, and just like don't be too hard on yourself.
We've got a message from Charlotte Wong going, are your parents from Hong Kong? If so, can you speak Cantonese?
I can a bit, yeah.
How does it feel to win so many national titles? That's Jake David.
Yeah, it feels good, yeah. Yeah, I'm very happy to win a lot, and I hope to keep winning.
Yeah, better than not winning, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we got one from, Lamb Barnabas 74. How do you loop backspin with short pips?
Yeah, it's a tough one. So you can either like sort of spin it with the pimples. You have to like get your legs really low and like use your wrist as well, and like really feel the ball with the pimples. And it feels different for different types of pimples. Or you can like open your bat and hit through it. So if it's a little bit higher, you can do that as well.
And sort of a similar question from Kiam7. How do you decide which bat to use for competitive matches, and do you have different ones?
Yeah, I do have different ones. I practice with them, and I kind of see how they feel, like when I serve, when I play, and then decide which one I prefer the most.
Emily Bolton, what's your death row meal?
Barbecue chicken. No, barbecue pork. Like it's a Cantonese dish. It's called like char siu, rice and vegetables. Simple.
Nice meal. Maria Sapsinos, someone I'm sure that you know very well, asked, "Who is your best friend?"
She'll kill me, so Maria Sapsinos is my best friend.
Mogul Bot, who's your favourite player of all time?
When I was growing up, I really liked Wang Hao. I really liked his backhand, and I looked up to him a lot. So I think, yeah, it would be him. But now there are so many like good players as well. But I would say Wang Hao.
Sally Hughes asks, what do you think took you from just being a table tennis player to being a great table tennis player?
I'm not sure. I think just a lot of hard work and a lot of training and a lot of help from other people, and like just good opportunities as well. So, yeah.
And this sort of might be a good one to end on. What was your best moment in table tennis?
I think aside from qualifying for the Olympics, I think I'll have to be winning a bronze medal in team event in Commonwealth in Australia with the team. So I think that was like, yeah, a really, really great memory.